This is a video for the new ultrasound device in Novi. As you can see, this is the screen. To turn it up and turn it to face us, you can just flip it from there. The power button is actually on the bottom here, and you just click that on. It should make a sound. It should turn on. There we go. All right, now there's a couple things on here. As you can see, it goes right to the last patient that was the device was seen for. Okay, so how do we change it? So there's a button right here, hit patient, and you can click on stored patients and things like that. But what we do is we click on this top one here, exam patient information. You go back and you actually change the current patient. So this way you actually go back and remove who the patient is. The delete button is right here. Okay, so what you have to do with the arrows next to it is actually push on the arrow, and you're gonna have to go forward or backwards depending on where like that, and you're gonna hit delete, and that will help delete the patient's information. How do you go to the next thing to actually put the patient ID number? You just hit the enter button, and you hit the enter button again. You go to a session, and then you go back up, and then hit one more time, and you go like looking at. There's different options, but we're going to keep it on the small parts for all our patients. So now we go back up, and we'll put in the patient's name. As you can see, use the keyboard, name's there. Now we're done. We hit this button right here, hit done. Okay, and that goes back. You could go to exam type, and now again we'll let you choose which one we're doing. We're sticking with small parts, okay? So we're doing that again. Here, if we wanted to do a new patient, we just click this, and it automatically deletes the previous patient, so we don't have to worry about doing that. So again, we'll put in the patient's name again. And as you can see, it shows up. You could put the ID number of the patient, which in this case we'll use a chart number. If there was one for this patient, which we don't have one, we'll go back. Okay, then we'll hit done again. So you have to hit done up here. Yep. And it goes back to this image. So as you can see now, the patient's name is listed for the current imaging. Okay, so we'll go back and hit done again. It'll get us out of the screen. And then here, you can actually go back to the stored images, which, you know, we could do print all images, review images that we've taken. And then from there, you could actually go, if we had saved the images, you'd be able to push right and left and go from side to side, seeing different images. But we don't do that because we delete everything after. As you can see, once I hit delete, it's deleting all the images we have on file. Now they're empty. So then we go back. Again, we hit done, okay, as an option. And now it's back to an active screen. You can see the patient's name is at the top here. And as we could see, so now we have the gel on the foot and on the probe. Okay, now here the image is actually pretty intense, so that's actually pretty good. You can actually adjust the brightness of the image with these. As you can see, it makes it darker. Okay, but we want it to be a little lighter so we could pick up on the images a little more clearly. Okay, this is far. This will also help kind of put everything into focus. So near, far, so this will kind of help with focus. And then gain is the intensity of the probe. So we adjust this to kind of make sure we're in a great position. Dr. Sharp, go ahead and just move the probe around so you can kind of see where the heel bone is, which is right here, plantar fascia, kind of in this area here, okay? Now, how would we take a still image? We have this button right here called freeze, okay? And that will give us a frozen image. Now, how do we measure just in general? There's a measure button right here. Okay, you click on that and it gives you these two little dots. Go ahead and show him how to do that. So it will go to one side. You click that, and then you click select right below it. Okay, now it jumps to the other factor, and you move that. Yep. So you move it. We'll move over. So the more you move it, as you can see, that the top left corner will give you the estimate of measurement, and you can just leave it at that, and then you can hit freeze again if you want, which is right there, and that should help keep the image stored. Okay. Typically, what we're doing now is, since we cannot print, we're actually taking a Athena capture of the screen image under the freeze frame and uploading it to the Athena capture. Right now, we're only able to take still images of this. Okay, so as you can see, she's working on that. She's moving along. Shows up here, and kind of clear images again. Okay, so if you want, changing this up a little bit helps us focus more of for the different anatomical structures. So if you want to save the image, there's a save button right there when you're in your freeze frame. So we'll go back, we'll do a freeze frame. Dr. Sharp will hit freeze, or one of the assistants can. Then she can hit save, and now it's been saved onto the ultrasound system. Now technically, since we can't print, we're just taking a Athena capture again of this image, uploading it to the patient's chart. Okay, and we're making sure the patient's name is at the top. The option we have is this button right here, where is a text onto the picture. So here you could click it, it goes away, click it back on, and you could always say that you could start typing here and type in plantar heel, and that shows up there, so we know anatomically where we're at. You can actually get this image, and then you freeze it, and that now you've labeled the image. You could do this during the freeze frame also. Okay, and you can hit delete, and it'll delete the wording on the image. Okay, and then you can hit freeze again, and it'll get you back to all your live image again. We have another cool feature with this device is depth of the probe. So if we want to isolate an area a little more and increase the magnification, there's actually a button right here on the left hand side that says depth, which means the penetration of the probe signal itself. So what you would do is, by pushing up, you're actually increasing the size of your image. Okay, and then if you want to come in closer to an area, you hit the zoom button right there, and it actually will magnify the center portion of the probe, and that's what we're at right here. Okay, so again, you hit zoom, it unzooms you out, and then depth, if you go down, the image tends to be less. So this helps increase image size, kind of get to the max at this level. And again, text, you could turn it off. You have the zoom feature again, just in and out. And then this feature here kind of helps with resolution. You could actually do 2D images and things like that. Typically, this helps with resolution. If you're really having trouble with it, you could do a pen, or you could just click done. I really don't use this much for anything. But you got the measure option, select, and then this helps move those little arrows for the measure. What we have is actually these two green buttons right here. As you can see on the bottom here, there is a kind of a time frame of the imaging. So if you hit freeze, okay, it goes away. So what Dr. Sharp's going to do is she's going to go along and keep moving, and we keep taking still images, keep going, keep moving back and forth. All right, and what this is doing, it's actually recording the entire video of the entire process of the imaging. So once we hit freeze, we actually could go back, and it actually will take us backwards in regards to our imaging. At least that's what it's supposed to do. Okay, so keep going back and forth. So like start somewhere. Okay, so start back there. Okay, so now we're in a different location. So she'll go back and forth. So start distally, or yeah. So we should be able to be recording this whole thing right now. Okay, and that stops it. So then we go backwards.
Hit the save button first when you freeze it.
Yep. So as you can see, it's showing us our recent images. When you do want to see the patient images that you've recently taken, you click on patient and you go to stored images. These are the ones that you saved from hitting the save button. Hit stored images, and then you could say review images. Okay, and you'll hit this button. It'll take you back to the images you saved through this freeze button here. Okay. To delete any images, you just hit the delete button and it deletes it off the recording or off the frozen images that we've created. From this, I think these are typically what we would do for a patient. So again, you'd hit patient, you hit it again. This takes you back to the live image or the live exam. Click on this, you go back to exam patient information, current patient, but if you want to do a new patient, you just hit new patient, and that deletes the old one that we just worked on. And then you put in a new patient. Okay, there you hit done. Then you go to exam type. If you want to keep it, leave it alone. Then you go current patient, ascension, make sure it's all good. Then back here, hit patient again, and now you're back to the image. Okay, and you can start your imaging again, and then of course your freeze frames to take still pictures, and then go back. The more you hit freeze, the more it saves. Once you hit freeze, you have to hit the save button. It saves the imaging, and then afterwards, one of the MAs can go back and actually Athena capture the images, as Taryn is so nice to say, and then Dr. Sharp being our nice probe expert here. So she's ready for us to do a lot more of these, and hopefully everyone kind of goes with that. And also on the side here, you can mess with kind of the screen brightness and everything like that, but typically I don't mess with these on the side. These really work well because they help the image kind of resolution and quality.